questions about fire code?
Is it ready to be passed?
I think we're ready. Yeah, I don't think anybody else. I had one objection to it, and that objection is talk to the chief, so. Fire department, you okay? Y'all okay with the deal? Everything good?
He said yes.
Okay, good deal. Part number 3. Overcrowding. What is this one about?
That's still part of it.
That's
What?
still a part of number 2.
Oh, is it?
All of them through number 5 are still part
Okay,
of it.
yeah, okay. I got you. Number 5 is part of it too. Okay. And then number 6 is the resolution to obligate the funds to Jackson Hospital. I think that's okay. And then number 7 is the Baptist Hospital funding. Is that correct? Anybody got any questions about those two? 6 and 7?
What have did we decide to move forward on those 2? I know there was some conversation had.
I don't have a problem with it, yeah, both of them. This is money we talked about quite a bit. And both of them could use the extra cash because of the issues that happen in the emergency rooms.
Yeah.
I think that's what's really happening is
And I know we said
the
that.
fights in the emergency rooms or whatever after the shootings.
Right.
Yeah,
Fights after the shooting. What shooting?
When you hadn't heard that part of it?
I thought we.
When they have a shooting, the other part of the family gets in there and they start having issues and they have to have extra security in there to keep it straight.
No, that's for the.
This helps the hospital do whatever they need to
Yeah.
do.
And we went through this during the ARPA meeting.
Huh? Well, we close the hospital down then, okay? But y'all
If $1
arguing?
million gonna close the hospital down, they need to be closed.
We don't need any hospitals. Y'all just go ahead and close them all down. Whatever y'all want to do, close them down. I think they need the money. And the next one, number 8, is a
Mr. President,
get out of the way and it's not ready to
before
go.
we move on, but I think we did have I agree with Councillor Graham. I think we did have a discussion on the money that was needed, and I think that $1 million would not do any justification to either hospital. I think the conversation that we were looking at doing smaller entities, I think community action came in. So I think it was a conversation that we did have. We never did really go in depth with that conversation. I think that everybody left like we were not going to fund Baptist of Jackson. Now, I may be mistaken, but I think we did have that conversation, and it was inconclusive, as I remember.
As a matter of fact, I think Terry was working on, and I don't know, Susan, if you know anything, but Terry was working on those. We had the Habitat for Humanity, the Alabama Mental Health, and the,
Now, we still have money for that in the Montgomery Thrive Fund, and that's separate. That's $2.75 million that is in the Montgomery Thrive Fund that y'all asked for. You know, the counselors wanted a fund that you could have put projects in, and
no,
that's
but
separate.
This wasn't that. You know, that money that we're splitting up to do district stuff, we weren't necessarily saying we wanted to identify that to fund organizations like that. We were thinking that these $2 million could better impact people. And we understand that the hospital has a need, but I just think
And we follow the direction of the council, however y'all want to do that. This was part of, just so you know how it got here.
Oh, yeah.
We're not
We had the conversation like Councillor Johnson said. We talked about it. It was mentioned, you know, I never really vote on it, more so than we was like, we're going to just vote the whole package as was, because we was told they would individually come to us and then we, you know,
That's
discuss
right.
that then. So
That's what's happening now.
that's kind of where we are. But,
Okay.
but did she not send any resolutions about?
So y'all had a resolution for the Thrive Fund, so it's passed, right? That resolution has passed, and so we're working with the finance department for parameters so that y'all don't, so that we're compliant with that money. So that's done. This money we haven't done anything with
Well,
because
at the last meeting though, that's what Councillor Mitchell was saying, that we asked her to look into community action.
Okay,
to look
and we
into,
can. We don't have a resolution today for that,
Okay.
but we can do that.
Okay,
And we
and
can,
it was three of them. It was Alabama Mental Health, Community Action, and Habitat for Humanity. Those were the three that we mentioned. They were before us, and we thought what they were doing or need to do, we could use some of these fundings to help them accomplish that goal, because it would directly impact community members. Not saying that Jackson or Baptist is not worthy of help. I'm not saying that, but this money is meant for the citizens, our municipality. And so
and
I
I,
just thought.
I apologize for that. Terry and I were kind of handing off, last meeting between each other, and I did not get that, message.
Okay.
And so we will get you some resolutions,
I think-
Or
absolutely.
at least just some considerations.
Absolutely.
And now, Susan, before that, because I do know that we've had, this has been going on for almost 2 years. This coming before us. So I think that us continuously carrying something over as a council is just, that seems like we're really indecisive and can't make any decisions. And I don't like that. So my question is,
Yes.
we do have funds that we have not allocated, correct? It is a couple of thousands, millions of dollars left.
That's true, and there are some that probably will get reallocated
It's some
because
funds that
something
we
won't.
haven't allocated. It's almost about 8 million that's left that we haven't totally allocated to a project.
Now,
And
is that true? Do we have?
Well,
as a combination, combined as a Thrive.
yes, there's some allocations and some obligations, and then the Montgomery Thrive Fund gets almost the rest of it, but there's some in there that I know that people have already talked about reallocating. So if you want to do, I think there's still
It is.
money to move around.
Especially with the acts that they came in front of us with, that wasn't even $1 million combined.
These are these are $500,000
Yeah.
apiece.
Yeah, so, and with these, I think that we can help our hospitals because we can't go without.
Right, and I will work at the direction of the council.
Well, it's not for their bottom line, and I think that's the misunderstanding. $1 million is not for their budget bottom line, this is for equipment. So if we get another pandemic to pop off, they need equipment to operate. They need some help. And I think we as a community and as a city, with them serving our people, and not only just ours, but over 29 hospitals have closed in rural counties, and they're coming here. So we owe them a little something to help. If this ain't even a dip in the hat for the hospitals, that is correct, but this can help with some equipment to go in there. That's just us saying we can help with something. That is us showing our obligation and our, just our support to the hospitals. And they requested, and we ain't giving them 15 million, because my request was 15 million. I requested 15 million. I mean, so $1 million ain't that's not hurting us no way, no
Is this
how.
kind of our portion, $1 million?
Yes.
For
Did
both,
count- did
for
the-
both. The
did
county
count-
has passed theirs.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they can go get us some federal grants for some equipment. But anyway, carry on nevertheless.
But
We
then
gonna vote on-
nevertheless, we'll still vote on it.
Yeah, we're gonna just vote on it and see where it falls.
And
All
so,
right, yeah,
Mr.
wait, we're
Chairman,
not
Wait, but with that, I would like to see, because I didn't know we had $8 million that's just out there. We haven't allocated to anything. When we did that omnibus, every dime seemed like it was allocated for that. So I didn't know it was
Obligated.
I didn't know that was just.
That's correct, and
So-
and there have been people that have already talked about kind of moving some stuff that got voted on in the omnibus around. So I feel like if there's just because you vote on something, you're not locked in forever. If there's something that the council wants to do that's not been obligated yet, we can look at that.
Well, I definitely I would like to look at that.
Okay.
Because I want to know where we have the flexibility at.
I'm gonna email you while I'm over there.
Okay.
The sheet that shows you what's left
Okay, sound good.
and where it is.
Okay, sound good.
Okay, go number 8 now.
Yeah.
Number 8, I understand it's not ready. It's not ready. Is there any way it's not ready? It'll be carried over. Number 9.
Yes, Mr. President, that's me. I asked for a parking plan, and as long as she presents a parking plan, then I, and we have that on record, we can go ahead and
Okay,
support that.
you okay with it?
As long as she presents a parking plan, which she said she would do.
Okay.
I think it's a good little.
Okay, number 10. Number 10, I believe, is, I got a request.
I spoke with them, we're gonna carry this over, and we're gonna have a meeting, myself and them, so we're gonna carry 10 over.
Okay.
Council, can you let me know when y'all have that meeting? That's the one right there by Patterson Court? Okay.
I talked to them about the plan and what the area, so they wanna know more, so yes, I'll let you.
Okay, thank you.
The lawyer, yes.
All right. Number 11. New business. AUDOT. Okay, this is the Lamar Road. This is involved with all those new projects out there. That's a good deal, I think. Anybody got any questions about that? All right, number 12 go to. Okay. 12. Number 12. This is a contract to keep our Levitate working with us. Okay, and this is a month-to-month contract, is that correct?
Yeah.
That month-to-month, okay. So if we get it through, we get through. Okay.
Question,
Yes, ma'am, you'll have to.
how long was the original contract for?
It was one-year terms that were renewable, so we had a one-year contract which got renewed automatically, according to the language. And then this, this is just, we put forward, and you can extend it one more year for a period not to exceed 12 months, and it will be written to a month-to-month, so that if we finish inside of 12 months, or if y'all decide that you're good, in less than 12 months, you give us 15 days notice, and that's the end.
Okay, so what if we haven't completed everything with the ARPA money, as slow as it seems like it's taking us to get everything, like, resolutions just,
So we, you could put this contract out for proposals at the end of the 12-month period, and we would apply at that time, or other people could apply at that time, and you could keep it going. But we thought that we might be, see the end of the road within a 12-month period. We certainly hope so. And so then, yes, and so we just gave y'all flexibility to finish the contract. If you wanted to make it longer, you can put it back out for proposals at the end of that 12-month period.
Okay.
but the fees and everything remain the same.
Remain the same.
No
Nothing,
additional money.
no additional money,
I tell
nothing
y'all, I think we
changes.
should mention that when we get into the actual, meeting, because someone said that today, that we are gonna give Levitate more money, and I don't even know how they came up with that. Maybe they came down here and got a copy of this, I don't know. Which don't say anything about money to me, but,
It's the same services, same
okay,
fees.
okay, we should, let's just.
And it's
mention
month
that.
to month. If you don't like it, you can give us 15 days notice and we're fired.
Sound good, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, number 13. Who's handling this particular item? You this one, Rick? Okay. Number 13.
Okay, so,
13?
I'll just do the whole thing.
This is
So,
a contract for the waterworks and
yeah, so remember y'all entered into an MOU with the Waterworks Board, and we did a county-wide sewer engineering study to find the neighborhoods who are most at risk from public health. And that was Madison Park, Old Selma Road, and Hunter Station. And so we are now at the point where we need to get started, because this money has a tick-tock timetable on it. And so this is this is just the engineering on all 7 phases, all starting at once, the appraisals for the properties, the easements, some of the services, surveying, all the things that they have to do to get, and identifying property they have to acquire. So it's a small bite of the full contract, and it's up to $5 million. That would be the county and the city's joint contribution. So we think that will be less than $5 million, significantly less, and so it says up to. So at this, we've got a contract that we've been working on, and you'll be able to see that, but basically it's a contract with the Waterworks to do that initial stuff so that we can go ahead and get started. If you approve that today, it says that it'll be funded by September 15th, so then they can begin to pay the engineers and start working. So this is the part that you do before you send the backhoes out there.
And my conversation with Terry today was that this is gonna be probably maybe up to 9 months to complete, so just.
This
so
is a
we
very
know.
long process, so we have to get started.
Yeah. just
So
we
this
know.
would be, so
Yes,
this
sir.
would be surveying,
Ms. Callahan?
Acquisition.
appraising, and all
Identifying
that.
property. It doesn't include the purchase of property yet.
Hold on, let's see.
But it's all the things the waterworks does to get
Callahan,
ready.
You have a question, Ms. Callahan?
Mr. President, but want the council to know that the county did not act on this morning.
Okay.
We put it, they didn't waive rules. So they had questions about it, but it seemed fine. They just didn't, their process is
So it's carried
different.
over next.
They didn't carry it over. It wasn't on the agenda. So it will be voted on at their next meeting because
Oh,
you
it
have to
was
put,
not on their agenda.
well, we can't put it on their agenda, right? So they have that process where you got to tell them about it in one meeting and they vote on it at the next meeting. So it couldn't go on the agenda today.
Oh,
That's why we suspend our rules, so we can vote on it.
Y'all have a much faster process, which I think,
so
for
what's the
most
will
things
of the
is
council
better.
when it comes to this? Do we wanna carry this over or go ahead and vote on this?
Let's move forward.
I think you gotta
Let's
move
move
forward.
on.
I mean, the timetable.
Yeah, we-
Wrong with time.
We need to be,
You
we're
gotta
still
show
working,
something in the
we're
street
working.
That you're trying to do something.
We can go ahead and fund it with the city's half before the county
Yeah.
votes on it, but I think they're gonna vote for it.
This is
It
about the
seemed,
sewer
they didn't have any
system in the
questions
area.
today.
You know,
Right,
I would
right.
support going ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
y'all.
thank you. Number 14, event center. Event center, oh, the bad word.
14, I don't know anything about this, so this will be carried over.
Okay. Number 15, Anchor Transport Bell Road.
I don't
Oh,
have
these are
a,
alternate transportation.
Mr. President, I don't have an issue with it. I just hadn't had an opportunity to speak to Ms. Pound, so hopefully
Yeah,
she'll be
but-
here today.
Yeah, I think it's, well, alternate transportation probably, whatever. Okay, well, okay, when they get here. Number 16, Double Down Bristol Atlanta Highway District 2. And we'll have them public hearing and see what they do. And I'm sure Brent will be here by that time. And if police don't have a concern with it. So, okay, we'll see what happens, 16. 17, First Watch Restaurant, that's in District 9, I'm okay with that, that's good.
That's new?
The new First Watch going to East Section.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad they
I'm
moved.
very successful.
Is this gonna be a second location?
Yeah, second location.
Yeah. That's good. Great, great.
All right, number 18,
We're gonna, carry them over, cause if I do pass it and they're here, it's gonna be with, some parameters on it.
okay.
All right.
Hey, Ms. Blaylock, it says District 4. Can you change that to District 3 when we put it on the next agenda, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, number 19,
19, I'm not going to pass that. I've had a huge pour out of communities not wanting to, and they should be here to speak against this today.
okay.
Yeah, at the Metro Picture where the old churches used to be, right next door. Yeah, there's too much happens right there. We don't need any more liquor. It's 7 locations on Lower Tunker Road.
It didn't have any
They won't be around, but.
recommendations from the police.
Gas station?
No, they just want to have a location to sell beer and wine. We have 7 on Lower Tonka Road. We're good. It's not a gas station.
Okay, number 20, District 3 also.
I'm okay with number,
Okay,
20.
number 20. Number 21, Sunsafe Structures, okay. And tear them down, 22, 23.
I got one. Mr. Hodge, can I ask you a question before we move on?
Yeah.
West Delano, I know we spoke about a house that was burned up over there. Is it on this?
So due process was just initiated, so notices have been sent out to the ownership, but it is in that waiting period of 45 days.
Oh, 45 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Our Capitol Heights property out here, the one that burned, what was that on, Winona, I believe?
Not quite, it's still, it's
It's-
same,
it's in
it's
process,
same
okay.
situation, yes, ma'am.
Here you go, pass it now. What is this? Prohibited acts? What's this all about?
We'll discuss it when we get down to To the bottom, Mr. President. We at the bottom yet, Ms. Blaylock?
We're at the
We're
end.
at the end of the agenda.
You want to talk about it
Ready
now?
to go into work session, speakers, okay?
You want to speak about it now, Mr. President? So it's dealing with noise, Mr. President. Been having a lot of complaints. Wanted to discuss it. I wanted to put it on the table so we can discuss it. It's talking about prohibiting individuals from cutting before 7 o'clock and cutting after 8 o'clock when it comes to lawn services, when it comes to individual. And also we have also added in, I'm a big believer of global warming. So the state of Alabama already has a non-idling law, but we made it clear in the city ordinance prohibiting an individual from idling their car for more than 30 minutes. Also prohibiting an individual from having their car unattended and running. So we just want to discuss this, Mr. President.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay,
Mr. Mitchell, let me understand.
Yes, I want you to understand it. Yes, sir.
Anyone from cutting before 7 and after 7?
Cutting and after 8.
After 8?
Yes, sir.
You're aware the temperature is like 100
Well, I did, well, Mr. Pro Tem, I did my research. The temperature between 6 and 7 is only 1 degree difference. So if it's at 6 o'clock it's 66 degrees, at 7 o'clock it's 67 degrees. So I have did my homework.
That's only where you live.
No. So I have did my homework, and due to the fact that most time the grass is wet at 6 in the morning anyway, I just want to make sure, due to the fact that we are not neighborly anymore, and it's bad that we do have to create ordinance for people to be neighborly. I had an older young lady call me, and she was scared to go tell her neighbor that he was cutting his yard at 6:32 for the last 2 days and for the last 2 weeks. I asked her, can you just go talk to him? She said, Mr. Mitchell, I'm scared. And then I said, do you want me to go speak to him? He said, no, because then he'll know that I told you that he's cutting his grass. So I just wanted a discussion, because anytime a person bring a complaint to me, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I try to address it in any way that I can. And I just wanted, whether we voted up or down or we carried over, can't nobody say I did not address any complaint that they brought to me. Thank you, Council.
Very good. All right.
Wait, I got some.
Yes, ma'am, what you got?
While she thinking about it, Councillor, so we already have the noise nuisance ordinance on the books and the prohibited acts. So you ideally, all you're adding in is the timeline that you want to be specific about. It's just this timeline. And how would we, I guess this will be another 311 complaint process, or?
Yeah, and I know that's the biggest issue in the city of Montgomery. How do we enforce?
Yes.
Sometimes it's always not about calling the police. Sometimes it's about making them aware. Sometimes a simple letter can discourage some people. I mean, people that break the law gonna break the law. So sometimes just sending a simple letter can discourage individuals for doing activities that you don't want them to do. So hopefully that, if this is passed, not saying that it will be, that maybe I can just send a simple letter to that neighbor, those individuals, and hope that that behavior could stop. But if not, then that's when we have a great community policing department. We have the 311. So we're going to try other things outside of always calling the police.
I agree. So you want to bring in coding that could possibly, I don't know. Anyway, thank you.
Well, and let me ask this question. Is there no HOA?
So you have to realize in South Montgomery, we have neighborhood associations. We do not, and that's the issue. We do not have HOAs to put these stipulations, because my father stay in Deer Creek. It's certain things that's just is not tolerated. On the south side of Montgomery, we don't have those things, so I try my best to work with those neighborhood associations so we can put similar things in place, because they always say, hey, why do we don't get the same service as the east side? But the east sides have different.
And why you giving all these speeches? I just want to know. They had one. Okay, so but even in District 4, we don't have HOAs. We have neighborhood associations like you, so we mirror each other when it comes to that. But they can still, the neighborhood association can still send out letters, kind of asking. No, but sometimes they don't know that. Yeah. I mean, do
Okay,
they
it's good
try
for-
in that house? Have you?
Okay,
He ain't even
all right.
listening no more. He done stopped listening and started having a whole nother
Hold,
conversation.
hold. One person at a time. All right,
All right.
Ms. Calhoun, you're
No,
up.
I'm good. I just know I can't get out of my car in the wintertime and cut my grass before 7.
That's what Grimes said, he cut his grass in the
There's
morning.
a real issue there. I mean, why can't people get up till 7 o'clock?
We ain't gonna vote it, we just want to put it on the table.
Anybody else got something? I'm about to call on the people to talk at the work session. All right, Mr. Grimes, you got the Asian hotel owners here, is that correct? Well, I don't see them.
I don't see him either.
Okay, we'll go to the next item. Artistic director from the ballet, Danny?
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to kind of come back and get an update on where the ballet's at. If you don't remember, the Fairview property we're currently in is under contract, and it looks very promising that it will be sold, and I worry about the longevity and the safety of the ballet there financially. So I started looking around, and I want to thank Mr. McInnis and Mr. Jenright for taking my calls and kind of hearing me out and giving me some guidance. And I did discover that the ballet does have a claim at Blount Cultural Park. I actually spoke personally with Mr. Blunt, Tom Blunt, and he was very positive and very optimistic about the ballet moving there and kind of guiding us in the right direction. The one thing we're not having a real process for, and I'm going to need your help on this, is when I talked to Mr. Carr at Parks and Recreation, he doesn't have a system in place in which we can carve out a piece of land for the ballet. Mr. Blunt has his personal opinions of where the ballet should be, but he actually doesn't have a say technically. So I guess the question would be, who do I meet to take this to the next step? So I have Mr. Jenright's approval. He already gave me that vocally. The museum is very enthusiastic. The ASF board is very enthusiastic. They're curious to know designs, but I can't really design a building until I know where it's going to sit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so would that be under, David, would that be under your purview?
Pardon?
It's under Parks and Rec.
It's under Parks and Rec, so it'll be.
So
with
yeah,
Mr.
so
Carr.
they're understanding, but Mr. Carr, who's at Center of Parks and Recreations, he doesn't have any protocol written or a standard operating procedure on how to then go to the next step.
Kind of twofold. It's probably a city issue plus Parks and Rec, because you got property that's got to be sold or designated from city
Zoned out.
attorney, I guess. In all honesty, you start there, and then you go back to the Parks and Rec. So,
Yeah, the city can't just make a decision for any entity in terms of how to, utilize the property out at Blount Cultural Park any more than we can Bond Road Park. So, I mean, there's a process that we would have to go through as it relates to what's being proposed from the ballet, what's being proposed from the Museum of Fine Arts, and what fits into our overall strategic plan for the city itself. So, I mean, we got a lot of city property. I mean, we started doing that, you'd hear a lot more conversation from the council on that front. So I think there are a series of conversations that must be had, because the museum has kind of operated kind of as a quasi, public-private entity itself. And when we start thinking about how we're going to divvy up the Museum of Fine Arts or any property we have at Blount Cultural Park, that's a different matter that will, I think, necessitate a sit-down conversation with not just Parks and Recreation, but the city leadership, myself included, to be had as well with the city council leadership.
So that's fine. I'm in a state of urgency, because I'm afraid that the developer is just going to come in, buy it, and then say, hey, you got 30 days to get out. So I'm trying to be ahead of the ball. So
I've spoken to the developer. I don't think that's their intention. And they have some big plans for not just that property, but for the city themselves, and they want to be a good partner with us. It's their first major investment, and based on their track record in Birmingham and other cities, they do things the right way. So I think that we can have the conversation with them, and I think we can have it with the city as well as the president and the city council of what's being presented here.
So what is my next step? I'm confused.
Well, the next step, I think, should be to make sure that I have your proposal, which I haven't seen it. So whatever you're proposing and the ballet is proposing, I like to see it. Second thing, if there are any recommendations coming from Mr. Blunt, certainly we'll take that into consideration. And third, I'd like to be able to bring that back to the city council leadership to propose to them, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing, and make sure everybody is totally on board with that. I wouldn't want to make that decision unilaterally with that, no more than we will the planetarium or any other entity that we, are seeking to relocate and to assist to bring a quality, better quality of place to our community. So if you want to send that to my office, then we can take it from there.
I think that'd be a good idea, just have a meeting with you, Mayor, and see the whole process that you have to go through to do that. It may not, maybe a very cumbersome process, may not be able to move it fast enough.
Yeah, but the developer, he'll work with us.
Yeah, I think so.
He'll work with us. So just send that to me tomorrow morning.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
get moving.
Yeah, that's all. I just came in to give you guys an update, let you know that I am
Okay.
moving forward with it. And I'm meeting with a couple architects to at least get some preliminary rough designs, because obviously designs can't be solidified until we know what kind of land it's going to sit on.
Okay.
But I thank you for your time, and I will keep coming monthly to give you updates.
Well, I'll try to, we're good, we walk through it. Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Felicia Petaway, Legal Services.
Good afternoon. I'm Guy Lesko, the Executive Director of Legal Services Alabama, the largest provider of legal aid in Alabama, headquartered here in Montgomery. I presume you've passed our new headquarters at 428 South Perry. We are committed to bringing our lawyers closer to the people we serve to help meet their legal needs. One of the needs that we have in Montgomery at the present time, and that's why we're here today, is to talk about air property. We are committed to the revitalization of Montgomery. Our clients need your help if we are going to clear the title for their opportunity to provide the economic development that we're all seeking. So with me today is a woman, Ms. Neal, who has been working with us to provide the lawyers to meet your constituents' needs by holding seminars, and Felicia Petway, the designated speaker today, who is in fact the LSA's Director of Development, who is going to be asking you for the financial assistance we need from the City of Montgomery if we are going to meet your clients' needs. Ms. Neal?
Thank you. Esteemed Mayor, esteemed City Council members, it's an honor to be here before you this afternoon. I have been serving as a community activist and consultant to help legal services and other organizations host legal clinics to make people aware and educate them about heirs property and its ripple effects. In communities of color, low-wealth communities across Montgomery, there are boarded-up homes, vacant lots that attract undesirable elements, and my research indicates that a lot of this is heirs property, which means it's people who own property with fractured titles and a multitude of heirs or descendants. And so through these clinics, we've had about 6 of them in the last year and a half. Over 500 people have attended. When you come to these events, lawyers take off their Saturdays and come to these clinics to provide free legal services. And what they do is they prepare wills, power of attorneys, and healthcare directives for people who need them. Many times people are unaware that they're even owners of property, and so we educate them about how this can benefit them. Not only that, but this helps communities and local and state and federal governments across the country. It increases your tax revenue base to have viable properties in neighborhoods across this community. It also allows communities and families to pass on generational wealth when they preserve and protect their assets. And so I am requesting on behalf of citizens, your constituents, that you support the request of legal services to provide this much needed service and benefit to this community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Legal Services has 3 existing proposals with the City of Montgomery. One of them we submitted in February of 2022, our initial Thrive application. Then we resubmitted an additional Thrive application. Those applications, one was for support for our building on South Perry Street. It was a construction proposal. The second one was for legal services itself that supports the air property issues that we're having, in addition to other services throughout Montgomery, the City of Montgomery. We have not, of course, heard from either of those proposals. However, in November of 2022, we also submitted a CDBG proposal to the City of Montgomery. Montgomery is one of 16 entitlement cities throughout the state of Alabama that receive CDBG funding. Legal services is written into all of HUD's appropriations throughout the country. The only entitlement area in the state that we do not receive any support from is in Montgomery. We're currently working to try to see what we need to do, one, to get support from the CDBG requests that we've submitted. We submitted one on construction. We also submitted one on legal services. And we also have pending Thrive applications. I know that you're entering into a water project. I know within that water project and sewer project, there are going to be people who need these repairs and services that do not own their property. We have spoken to your Thrive representative to make sure that we position ourselves to offer that representation to those clients. I know a couple of you, Mr. Mitchell, as well as Ms. Johnson, we have provided air property workshops. Ms. Graham, I have talked to Dorothy, who used to work with us within legal services, our family, to just make sure that those services are readily available. So we want to ask your support via Thrive, via CDBG, to support Legal Services Alabama, especially since our central office is in Montgomery. Thank you.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wilson, I know I saw you. Are you still in here?
He's gone.
He's gone. I know that I think we've already have done the allegations for the CDBG, and I was just going to ask him, do we know where you're missing? If we haven't, maybe it's something you need to do with us, and I was just going to see if he could help us figure that out so we can line you up to begin to receive those funding.
Okay.
But he's not here.
We
so
talked to him earlier. I think that maybe the transition of a new person in that position, Susan leaving, may somehow our proposal kind of fell through the cracks. We never got a notification that we were not awarded. I do know there's an existing proposal that I spoke with Mr. Wilson about that maybe can secure that funding. So we're just hoping that one of the two or both can work out where we can continue to provide the services. As I spoke with Ms. Neal, to ask our attorneys, and we're talking about 6 to 7 attorneys to come out and provide legal representation on Saturday is a big ask. And there have been 6 clinics that we've done that. So we're hoping that we can at least begin through Mr. Compton, who has worked very closely with us with the homeless prevention. I think that he said there might be a proposal that has been on your agenda for tonight that will support something within legal services. So we're just asking that you make that consideration for such a good cause that supports all of your constituents.
Okay.
Mr. President, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Where is the county, love your program, having spent 7 years over the county, what is their position around legal services and support financially for programs such as this?
Okay, so for the county, we presented to them also, and we presented our Thrive. It was our understanding that we needed support. We needed to provide a presentation to the city and to the county. The county is on board to support us. It's my understanding, speaking with Terry Sharpley, that they understand that need, especially with your entering this water sewage project, that they want to provide services. So our next step was to come to the city, get on the agenda, and present the same offering to you, and then go back to Ms. Sharpley, the consultant that we've been speaking with, to see how we can move our Thrive application forward. Now, of course, during the pandemic, let me make sure you understand that both the county gave money for rental reimbursement, you know, through HUD offering, but they don't really have the entitlement funds that you have. The city did provide us with the attorney, so it was a twofold effort there. But both have gone away now, and we were always, this is the one opportunity we were hoping that we could work with the city and the county, because we realized that for you all, it's just within the city districts that we can provide those services. So we need to also reach to the county. So Commissioner Sankey And some of the other commissioners, the attorneys on the board, they're on board to support legal services as well. So we just need to figure out how to collaborate with both entities to provide these services to the constituents of Montgomery County.
So let me, I fully support it, and I think a couple of the councilors brought up earlier that there's some unallocated dollars in the Thrive Initiative. But, you know, a lot of the services that you're talking about, in my opinion, fall under probate court. So when you're talking about wills in the states, that comes under the probate court area.
Correct.
And so that I would think the county would want to take the lead in that, regardless of what happens with the Thrive application or not. Second of all, I also think that it's important for you all to know that as great of a program as it is, the city and the county have different functions. And so, you know, some of the legal services you mentioned coming through HUD, that is something that maybe our housing authority can also assist on with some of their grant applications as well. And so the city gets a lot of requests for a lot of things, and ultimately we understand that the responsibility falls on the city. But I think in a case like this, our partners with the Montgomery Housing Authority can get federal dollars through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Should have opportunities there to relieve us from some things that we want to support but just don't have the money to put towards all of these different areas. And then coming back to the county side, on the probate court, we did wills in the states clinics for a number of years, very, very helpful. I think that it's a positive thing for us to do, but I would want the probate court in particular, as well as the county, to lead on this initiative, because I think this is something that falls directly under that purview for them, irrespective of what may be happening with the CDBG application or anything else.
Okay, and we understand that. You know, I'm going to use Jefferson County as an example where the county and the city provide funds.
Now, let me say this about Jefferson County, because I have to educate.
Money.
Jefferson County has a $500 million budget
Right.
for the same amount of people that we have in this city, and ours is just made it to 311, which I'll present to the council tonight. So I have to explain that to a number of people when they do bring, you know, the example of Birmingham. You got $200 million more dollars, a lot more than we could all do with that kind of money. And so that's why, you know, we do work hand in glove with the county on most issues. I mean, over 80–90% of issues. The county district attorney is asking us to include him in the budget for positions that the state has advocated. The county has picked up some of those dollars. I think probably by the time we get to the final analysis for this budget, we'll be picking up some dollars for a county position, district attorney. So that wasn't in our plan. So I'm just giving you an example of things that we do work together on, but there are just some things where I think that just like we have to take the lead on most things in the city, whether it's impacting those in the county or not, the county, it as relates to legal services, I think can maybe help. And again, I think a big opportunity will come from the Montgomery Housing Authority, because I think the HUD opportunities are utilized, in my opinion, to really assist us in this. And I have no problem continuing this conversation so we don't take up more time. But I think that's kind of how we should look at it. We can talk about the CDBG application as well with Desmond when he gets back in.
Okay.
And he's back, Mayor. I agree.
He's over there.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, if you could just help us, we just want to see
talk
legal. Okay, legal services is here. Mr. Wilson, if you will speak with her, you know, just pull her to the side and see how we can help her get in line to start receiving maybe some of those CDBG fundings going forward. We understand that that's already been done for this year, but maybe in the future they could.
I'll be honest with you, because I have their applications right here. And I think we've met with legal services probably maybe 2 years in a row. And the big issue is that you got to fill the application out and answer the questions properly. You got to provide the information that we need. It's a very complicated process in doing this. It's a three-pronged process where we have to look at the capabilities of the organization. We have this thing called the binder where they have to provide us with like 26 different things. We have to look at their audit report, and then we look at the application.
Well,
so all those things are taken in.
Let's move on. We understand it's very complicated, but apparently they didn't make it.
So the application is the process. So
It's the application process where they have a difficulty.
Mr.
Okay,
President,
yes, sir, Mr. Calhoun.
can y'all just get together and just figure out what you're talking about so we can just move on, air that out? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, good deal. All right, Patricia
Thank you.
Vaughn, Sunshine Minister.
My name is Patricia Vaughn, and I am the founder and president of Sunshine Ministries, Inc. Can I give you all the
Yes, please, let us know what you are.
Okay. I got
Sure. Thank you. All right.
You can just give it to him and he'll pass it down to us.
Oh, okay.
We'll pass it down. Just give it
Let's
to
go,
me.
let's
I'll
pass,
pass it out.
let's pass them now, we got
Thank
it.
you.
Let's move on, we gotta move, we're getting late on the time, okay?
Okay.
3 minute deal, okay?
Huh?
Move on through, okay?
Okay, what I basically do is I'm in partner with Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
I provide meals for seniors. I started over 7 or 8 years ago just doing it from the house, and I basically now provide 200 meals a month, frozen meals to McCoa. And now that I am up and got my 501c3, I provide meals for three facilities downtown: the King Williams Building, the Terrace, and the Capitol Heights Senior Living Facilities. I provide them with hot meals and bags of groceries. I take them pastries and bread donation that I get from Publix Supermarket where I work at. Every weekend, one of the facilities receive the donations. And right now I'm preparing from my church kitchen, and I prepare from Trenton where I graduated as a chef. They allow me to use the restaurant kitchen facility there to prepare my meals. But we're asking your support for a food trailer or a food truck that I can go out in the city or to maybe other senior living facilities and provide them with a hot meal or frozen meals that we prepare.
Does McCoa pay you for the meals that they get from you?
No.
You have, those are free, you give them up at McCoa?
They don't pay me anything. I was preparing everything from my own resources.
So you have to pay for all that?
Sir?
You pay for all that? You pay for all of it?
Yeah.
McCoa doesn't pay anything to those
No, they
meals you
don't
get?
pay me anything. I just provide, I cook it, prepare it, package it up, and I take it to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
now-
now, ma'am?
Ms. Patricia, you also work with the food bank, right?
Yes, now I got set up with the food bank in March. So I'm able to buy bulk food from there, and which is much better because I get it at a good price, and I cook it and I prepare it. And I'm just trying to get some support
Okay.
to further our mission.
I think we'll look at that for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Thank
Are
you
you
so much.
set, let me ask you, are you set up with the City of Montgomery? Okay.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Moving on, Demetrius Howard. Ms. Howard. Heavy Hearts Youth Mentoring.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Very good.
Good. I want to say thank you for this opportunity. It's a blessing and honor to be before you. My name is Demetrius Howard. I am the president of the League of Distinguished Gentlemen. Here with me I have Bathsheba Brown. She's the head over Heavy Hearts. LDG is one of the programs in Heavy Hearts, one of many. I'm ex-military personnel, and I'm a 20-year-old man with a passion. My passion is LDG. A little bit about LDG. We're a youth mentoring program, and we educate young people on mental health, gun safety, and hygiene. The way we do that is through our tournaments, which this year we called it the City Boys Festival. We teach them the 04 firearm safety rules and the proper ways to handle firearms and know that firearms are not just toys or they're actual things that can harm people. and we educate them on that topic. We give them hygiene bags that they can use so that it has deodorant and cleaning, sanitizing, and things of that nature. We also educate them on mental health disorders such as anxiety, depression, and PTSD, which can lead to more fatal causes such as suicide and, in most cases, homicide. We've already impacted the lives of thousands of children in our communities. We got them on the straight and narrow, putting them in programs such as karate and boxing, which can be an outlet for them, football programs, potential military candidates. We've done a lot of things in that nature. That being said, we're asking you guys, so our draw can be more and bigger, we're asking you guys that you step in. We have events every Sunday. We've had 4 so far. We have one coming up in Gateway. It's huge. We've impacted a lot, but we need assistance. With our costs being upwards of $10,000, and we've had sponsors in the past, but you know that goes dry sometimes. And we just want to continue our mission and continue our goal, and we're asking for a generous donation of $2,500 from each of you. That will help a lot and continue our path and what we're trying to do.
Thank you. And let me just say before he leaves, the founder is Ms. Brown, will you stand up? She just recently had a procedure, so she can't do much talking, but that's Ms. Brown, the founder. Yeah, this organization is absolutely phenomenal. I partnered with them in Gateway Park last month. The impact that they had, the amount of youth that came out and responded, blowed my mind. And so we're getting ready to partner with them again this month on the 20th at Gateway Park. I'm asking this council, y'all help us support them, because I know we are trying to work with our youth, but what we can't do it all, and this program is really making a difference, what they're doing. So they're only asking for $2,500 from each one of us. So I'm just asking the council, please support them. That is an awesome, phenomenal program. I appreciate Ms. Brown and the effort she's making and all of the partners that she brings to the table. She's not doing it by herself. She brings so many to the table. And without partners like that, we'll never reach anybody. So y'all, please let's support them. $2,500, but you can give them $5,000 if you want to.
Thank you.
She can use that too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for what you do.
Okay. I have nobody else on the, anybody got anything to
Mr. President, I have one thing before we close,
Well, we
and I'm going to bring this up every meeting. If we can start work session, look what time it is now,
It's
Mr.
time
President.
to go again?
It's time to go again. If
Yeah.
we can start work session 30 minutes early, I'm not asking for an hour. I'm asking in consideration of those people that's here all day. So some of these employees get here at 6:30 in the morning. And like I worried about Ms. Blaylock because she has to drive home and generally don't get there until 9.
And she had to idle her car for 30 minutes before she leaves.
No more. She won't no more. So please, council, I ask you to take it in consideration 30 minutes early. Work session only.
Got 4 minutes. Got 4 minutes left before we start the next meeting.
Well, in actual,
I would ask everybody to stay here.
what,
Go ahead.
Mr. Jimmer, I don't know if we need to do it now. We need to do it now. Can we get, before we dismiss, I need to get an update on Sherwood because we've got to get the consensus of the council about it as well, but she's here and have a quick update for us. Can we get this update about the Sherwood Apartments,
That works
please?
right into 5 o'clock. You won't break. We just go apart. Not gonna break.
I am currently drafting.
Go ahead, Ted.
I'm currently drafting a lawsuit for the Sherwood Apartments. The only thing I need is the end goal on how you guys want to proceed. If we're looking to grant them additional time so that they can hire a security company, I know they've been asked since about February of this year, or if we're just looking to revoke their business license. So as soon as I get that, I will be willing to file.
Well, they don't have a license to revoke at this point. The business license department, as far as I know, they haven't applied for one just yet, and
They applied as of July 28th with the new company.
Okay, and so was it granted to them?
Yes, ma'am, they got their certificate of occupancy.
Okay, well, yeah, let's look to do that.
Okay.
Let's look to.
And looking to revoke it. Is
I
that
don't know
correct?
what the council, do we
Well,
think?
it's your district.
Rondé, you have probably more experience at that
So,
than me.
so
I ask.
the only thing I say that she just informed us that it's a new company that has came in to purchase that property, correct?
But it's the same one
Yes
we've been
and
working
no.
with.
It's the same.
It's the same, they just didn't have a license all that time. They were
Correct.
just operating without one, so now they finally got one,
Yeah.
so.
They announced it to the council in February, at the February meeting, that the new owners had come in. They didn't submit their paperwork until July 26th.
So the option is either, shut them down or a business license.
Yes.
And what does shut them down look like?
Shutting them down would effectively be revoking their business license. What that looks like is that all of the tenants will have to relocate, and that's in there.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I think that's what we talked about in some of our earlier meetings about when these properties are sold, these big apartment complexes, that the city has no idea what's going on. So the new owners come in and have the same problems and issues that the previous owners have. You know, with prior inspections, some of the things going on that we've been talking about for 4 months now, it's new ownership, and we're thinking about the process that's gonna start over. That's gotta stop.
It's the same company. It's the same company from 4 months ago.
Yeah.
No, they saying they just got a license. They just been operating without one, but it's the same company. Because remember, the older company had gotten a security guard. They had done everything we asked them to do. When they got a new person in, we started calling them down because we started back getting complaints. They just never complied. They just kept trying to fight the issue of getting a security company.
So they know the issues that they've been facing.
They know,
So
oh, yes.
I don't feel no leniency for that. So
And the
that's
issues
all
have
we need
been,
on that one.
the issues have been
down.
safety in this reason. MPD has gotten over 90 calls regarding that property in 2023 alone.
Okay.
And there's also a separate number for official 911 calls.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You want to say
Yeah,
something?
Brad.
I think the police department was gonna do a presentation on North Pass. I don't know if it's ready or not. Y'all, anybody from the MPD have any information on the presentation for North Pass?
Oh, he jumps in. Well, let's do the shutdown. Let's
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that because that's the same thing as revoking their license. But
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
do give them to the next meeting, 1 month.
Okay.
Because I know you got to file it anyway, so a month is not bad. But we'll give them a month out to say that if it's not done, then we're just going straight in.
Good move, good move.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to review it before it's filed?
I'm going to trust y'all.
Okay.
I'm going to trust you.
Okay.
Thank
You can just send me a copy, but you can file it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Chief,
Oh, and do we need to vote on something else for that, Stacy? Is that good? Was that what you
That's
needed in the record?
sufficient. I think you gave a consensus 2 meetings ago.
Okay.
So now that she found out that it was the same owners and that they had gotten a business license, she just wanted to make sure you were updated and still wanted to move forward.
Okay, yes.
okay.
Chief Hall?
Chief,
Just
you got-
asked me about North Pass. Right now, we do not have a presentation ready, but I can tell you that they are working with it. We do have new lighting out there. We're working with Codes and Ordinances out there. We've been out there a couple times with them already. So at this time, we do not have an actual presentation ready.
Okay, so putting that on hold?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but
Okay.
we're working in the right direction,
Yes,
right? Okay.
Very good, okay. Okay, we will adjourn the work session and go back into the regular meeting. The meeting will start now.